everyone, welcome back to Real Talk with ReSimpli, where we get real about real estate, business, and everything in between. I'm your host, Chenay Jordan.
And I'm Don Carlson. All right, guys, today's guest is someone who is living proof that you don't have to be chained to your business to build something massive. Eric McAvoy is a real estate investor, digital nomad, and the founder of Freedom Pro, a platform helping wholesalers build scalable, system-driven businesses that actually run without them. So after closing deals virtually across the country and the world, from what I hear, Eric cracked the code on building lean teams, generating consistent leads, and removing himself from the day-to-day grind. So the past 2.5 years, he's been running his entire operation remotely, which we're super stoked to dive into, while teaching others how to basically detach from the chaos and to gain some consistency through Freedom Pro coaching and consistent driven growth.
Yeah, so whether you're stuck in the weeds, drowning in follow-ups, or dreaming, which I know I am, of running your business from anywhere in the world, this episode is for you. Eric, welcome to Real Talk with ReSimpli.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for having me. Excited to be here.
Absolutely. Yeah. And actually, first part, we're going to just pass real estate. And I need to get your workout routine, your subs, go to this man's Instagram and you'll know what I'm talking about. I had a kid 7 months ago and I'm 2 months back in the gym and I just need a little cheat code. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm just kidding.
I may not be the biggest wholesaler in the space, but I'm trying to be the biggest wholesaler in the space.
Yeah. Biggest and best looking. So yeah, you're on your way. Brent Daniels is pretty ripped too, but
yeah, I got some competition. Yeah.
Brent's not as pretty as Eric, though. Let's just be real here.
He's not. I love you, Brent, but
yeah, love you, Brent, but yeah. So, that's awesome. So we love to kind of start at the very beginning of your journey, Eric. So can you take me back to the very beginning? I know that you started out learning wholesaling from social media, and you believed it was going to be super easy money. Can you, what did you honestly think you were getting into versus what the reality of it really is?
Yeah. I mean, I pretty much was under the impression that, you buy leads, you make some phone calls and you make 10 grand in your first 30 days and life's a breeze and that's it. And it's a 2-step process. Turns out that was not the case. And that ended up costing me a lot of time and money. Cause I, had these improper expectations and was spending a bunch of money on leads and I wasn't doing the work required. And so I was just month after month, just watching my money fly away or burn up. That was, that was tough.
Is that so did you get into real estate simply, or did you learn about it simply from social media? Is that how it all came about? Or was there a plan behind it?
No, I mean, I've always heard of house flipping and rentals and stuff. Years and years ago, I read Rich Dad Poor Dad, and I used to listen to Your Pockets podcast all the time.
The gateway book.
Yeah.
Bigger Pockets and Rich Dad Poor Dad. That's the gateway to real estate.
The wombo combo, dude.
Yeah. So I had listened to some interviews about wholesaling, and that's what put me onto YouTube. And then it was, the Jerry Nortons and Pace Morby's and the huge guys in the space. Tons and tons of research, just watching YouTube videos, the whole YouTube university thing where you feel like you're making progress, but you're not doing anything. You're just watching videos. And then I just thought it was going to be easier than it was, paid for a coach and got smoked, and it's on me. The coach I hired is absolutely amazing. 10 out of 10 human being. I didn't put the work in. I was a cocky 22-year-old who's I know sales. This will be easy.
I'm going to be in it rich in a Lamborghini in no time.
Oh man, that's amazing. Well, you actually just brought up something that I also know, and that's the idea that you've talked about how dangerous this whole idea. And you know what? Right before we hopped on this podcast, I actually saw a reel, no joke, on Instagram that said this very thing on 10K in 30 days. And you've talked about how dangerous that mindset is for newbies. Why do you think that expectation kills so many people before they even really give themselves a shot?
Yeah. I mean, I think typically the people posting that have experience. They've been doing it for years and they absolutely can do exactly what they say in the video. They can make 10 grand in 30 days, 100%. The issue is they have years of experience. They probably have a team, they have a budget, they have all these other kind of things. And then people that are just getting into it, they think, oh, 10K in 30 days, I can put in an hour or two a day and spend no money and I can crush it. And then that doesn't happen. And now they're like, but everyone on social media says this is how it works. I didn't do that. And then it's either wholesaling's a scam or I'm not good enough and I can't do this, so I'm going to give up. And I've seen it happen time and time again where people just have, incorrect expectations and they think success is going to be super easy. And then they give up or they just spend a bunch of money on stuff they shouldn't have spent money on. And then they're like, go back to having to go get a job again. And it's this whole back and forth thing. And yeah, it kills me to see.
It's such like a multi-layered thing, because like there's the expectation part of it where it's like I'm expecting like to make 10K in 30 days, and if I don't do it, I'm a failure. So that hits your like ego, your mindset with it. But then like also like if you get lucky and do if you're completely brand new and you do that, like you put in the work, that's great. But then it's like, oh shoot, I made 10K, and a lot of people like haven't made that kind of money like that quick. So and then like, okay, I did it, then you can like take your foot off the gas a little bit. But then it's like, no, it's like you got to keep putting in the efforts and work in to build like consistency. So it's a tough mindset for sure.
So obviously you didn't make 10K in 30 days, Eric. How long did it take you? What was like what was your proof of concept deal?
Yeah. 9 months after starting, I officially closed my first deal after spending over 30 grand on marketing and all that kind of stuff. But I hired a cold caller, and I was like, instead of trying to do all these different complex strategies first starting out, I'm going to get one cold caller and I'm going to work every single lead until they tell me to piss off or they tell me they're home. And that, because like prior to that, I was just like calling them once or twice. I'm like, I don't really want to call this person. This house looks like not a good deal. So I just won't talk to them. And that was when I was, wasted 30 plus grand. But then I hired one cold caller. I did some list stacking, and 60 days from hiring them, closed the first one for 15. Next week, closed one for 10. And I was like, okay. 9 months later, I think I kind of figured this out a little bit.
No, for sure. What kind of marketing were you spending like that 30K on? Just curious.
Yeah, primarily direct mail. I also tried like running my own ads, and I was like watching YouTube videos on how to do that, which I don't think is the most effective way to learn something.
It's ads specifically are so complex. Like the way that Google is set up and like PPC, like it's detailed, and like that's something I've never gotten into. It's like, but yeah, I was just curious. We can keep going, but I'll have some follow-up questions later.
So you went to working from home, and then you became a full-time digital nomad, which I think is probably the most interesting piece of your story.
Mm-hmm.
How did that transition even happen? Like, what was your inspiration for like, I'm going to go travel the world and do real estate? And what made you like, just be like, yeah, I'm going to do this. This is my path.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of funny. Like when I first ever decided I was going to get into wholesaling, I did it because I was working a job in a gym, and it was the middle of the summer. It was beautiful outside. The gym was empty, and I was like, I don't want to be in here. I want to make money and be outside. So that was my first goal. So I got into wholesaling, moved to Florida, and then I would work on the beach. I'd go work at restaurants. I'd work from my home, and I'm like, okay, this is neat. What's the next level? So I started watching YouTube videos. I was like, all right, traveling. That sounds really fun. And I was doing more research on it. I'm like, best countries to go to, how this works, like, internet and visas and all that kind of stuff. And then I slowly just transitioned. I decided I was going to do that. Took pictures of everything I owned in my house, put on a Facebook Marketplace, canceled the lease I was on. And during that transition period, booked an Airbnb for 30 days in Florida. And once that was up, flew to Europe, left everything behind, or sold everything. And I was like, okay, we're going to do this. And the biggest first mistake I made traveling was treating it like a vacation.
Oh yeah. How can you not?
Yeah. So I went to Europe and got no work done, which was not good.
I'm glad you brought that up. I do have some more. I'll have some more follow-up
Yeah.
questions about that when we talk about like systems and processes. But that is a real problem. Like I worked remote. I still work long distance. Like my market's in San Diego, Ohio. I live in Southern California. Like that's one level. And then I moved to Maui for 2 years, supposed to be 6 months. And like that is a real struggle, that push and pull of like, it's not going to, like Europe's not going to be forever, but like, so you want to enjoy it. But then there's also like, I'm working, like I need money. But
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I've worked from home since like before working from home was cool. I started working from home in 2012, which was, I mean, I don't know a lot of people that were working remote that far, that far back. But and I've had a few different positions working from home, and it takes a certain amount of crazy discipline. And I can only imagine the amount of discipline it takes when you're in some beautiful country with all this rad shit to go do. And you're like, but I gotta work, this trip's not gonna fund itself. So
and it's not a trip, like it's a residence.
yeah, that too. I mean, yeah, mindset shifts for sure, for sure. What did you have like a light bulb moment of like, oh crap, like I'm really treating this like a vacation and work's not getting done, money's not coming in, like yeah, what was that mindset shift for you?
Yeah. So I went to Europe, and like I still got some work done, but it was definitely not an 8 to 10 hour day, not even close. And I was there for probably 3 or 4 weeks, and then I went back to the US to see my family for Christmas. And I was just sitting there and now I was back and I didn't have much to do because I hate the cold. Massachusetts, December, I'm not going to leave the house. So I was like realizing how much work I was behind on, and I was like, oh, that's really not good. I got to figure this out. So then like before my next trip, I sat down and I was like, okay, I need to just view this as I'm living there. I'm not vacationing there. I'm not whatever. And I need to treat it like a normal schedule. It's like I need to schedule out when I'm going to work. I need to schedule out when I'm going to do my fun activities. And then I made it, I kind of have like an intermediate level where it's like there's work to do. It's not super deep, highly concentrated work, but it still has to get done. That kind of stuff I'll go do at like a cool location. I'll toss some headphones in, but I still got the ocean view and the sun coming down. So I get the little mix. I've got the focused work inside, not super focused work outside, and then my fun activities outside of work.
Yeah, just coming up with a plan and a process, which this whole business is built on systems and processes. So you've now been to, is it 25 countries?
Yeah.
And you're scuba certified,
Mm-hmm.
and you're fully living that nomad life.
Yeah.
What's been the biggest lesson that you've learned about building a business while traveling the world?
Hiring the right people is undoubtedly the most important part. Hiring, and then obviously building the systems to put those people into, but hiring. Like when I was in Bali, I was in the middle of 12 house flips, and I had a project manager on staff who was amazing. My lender was not an employee, but my lender was great. He was like fully on board with everything, agents, GCs, everything like that. So like I could go there and I could just check in with them, once or twice a week if I needed to. But obviously if they weren't in place, flipping a house from Bali would have been extremely challenging, if not impossible.
Yeah. I mean, I think we do hear it all the time about having the right people on your team is absolutely vital to any business. I mean, not just real estate, but any business, to scale and have that freedom of time. So yeah, awesome.
Yeah, especially like, I mean, it's vital for like a remote business, but like people like living in their own market, like they can get away with like solo operating for a while, especially wholesaling. Then when you go into like flips and stuff, you'll hit a wall though, and then the scaling part of it, like adding new people, but also like giving up control. Like giving up control is something you have to do like right away when you are investing remotely. Because even with wholesaling, you need somebody to walk the properties, take pictures, walk buyers through, run interference with them in the seller.
Yeah.
So no, it's there's a lot that goes into it earlier on, which excited to talk about for sure. But curious, what were some of, give me like top 3 of your favorite countries and best spot to scuba?
Okay, so I mean, we'll go number 3, Greece, hands down. Huge fan of Greece. Food, people, weather, just like everything, excursions, like the whole 9 yards. Yeah.
Specific island that you like, or?
I'm a huge fan of Crete.
Nice.
That's primarily where I go. I've been to Tinos, which is actually really cool. I went kind of in the off season, and so it was. I'm not going to say it was empty, but it felt like I had like the town to myself in like a cool, like it wasn't weird. It was a cool way. It was like I'm like one of the only 3 other people in a restaurant. There's never like lines or traffic, or it's like very laid back. So that was awesome. So Greece is number 2. I'm sorry, number 3. Number 2 would honestly probably be probably Mexico. Like it's so easy to get to. It's such nice weather, the food, the people, the swimming, and I'm just like a tropics, white sand kind of beach guy, and it's like it's right there. But number 1, hands down, is Bali over in Indonesia. That's like that. Yeah, I when how you're talking about Hawaii, my original plan when I went to Bali was I'm going to go a month there, a month in Australia, and then a month in New Zealand, and then I just did 5 months in Bali. I don't want to leave. This is the best.
No, it's your dollar goes so far. It's beautiful. The people are super cool, and like if you surf, crazy great waves there, and the scuba too. Like it's all great.
Like my favorite, like I think other than like the weather and the whatever, I think my favorite part of Bali was just how many other like nomads and entrepreneurs there were, and how easy it was to make cool friends and have like business conversations and like understand what they're doing in their business, and like you get to explain yours, and just like the community feel over there is the best in any country I've been to.
That's really, I'm glad you brought that up too, because like I saw this in Maui too. Like I had the best community there than I have like ever had in my 31 years of existing. And we were all in similar situations. Well, we were all in similar situations. Like our family wasn't close. Like you kind of search for community. We're all in the same, like we were all in real estate and investing remotely because we're on an island. And no, it's cool. The unexpected community that you have, like you'll meet some of the best friends you've ever had. Like if you take that jump too, which is cool. So, but I'm glad you brought that up.
And what's the best place to scuba for you?
Well, so I've only scubaed in one place, where I got scuba certified. That was earlier this past year, but it was in Curacao. And that was stunning. Like sea turtles, spotted eagle rays, some huge crazy fish, and like boat wrecks and all this kind of stuff. I'm like, because I went to go snorkeling, and then the instructor that I got was like, we can do scuba too. I was like, oh, can we? All right, sign me up.
Curacao, that's in Mexico, right? Or no, where's that?
You're thinking Cancun. Yeah, Curacao is one of the ABC islands right over by like Aruba. It's like 40 miles off the coast of Venezuela.
Gotcha. Yep. Yeah. So that'll make sense.
Since you like to scuba, I think I brought this up to you before. So you got to go to Belize, man. You got to. Yeah. You got to go to Belize.
Belize is on the list, and then the Galapagos. Yeah. I know we talked about that over the summer.
Yeah. Yes, we did. Yes, we did. Yeah. Yeah. Belize is great. I am way too scared of the ocean, to be quite honest, to like do scuba. But when I was down there, we took a catamaran from San Pedro over to the sister, which is on Ambergris Key, over to the sister island, which now the Key Cocker. Yeah. And and through like the reserve and all of that, and they also were going to have a swim with nurse sharks, and I was like, oh hell no, I am not getting off this boat. But then they started serving up a bunch of rum, and needless to say, I successfully swam with nurse sharks and then snorkeled with a big old sea turtle and stingrays, and it was so rad.
That's so sick. Speaking of sharks, I have a shark scuba dive story that I will tell you guys at the end, because I want you to listen to the business part of this podcast, everybody. So No, we'll shift into business. So shifting into business, what are some wins that you and maybe your students have had with these process and systems that you've taken years to implement, that we're going to go over today?
Yeah. So honestly, I didn't even tell you guys about this prior because it happened an hour ago. But in we have so the group we have is Freedom Pro, and in there, one of the things we do is help you staff acquisition managers and leads and systematize your business. And so we got this guy named Henry. He works like 60 to 70 hours a week, but it's crazy odd hours because he goes and fixes like downed power lines. So he's in the situation of like he makes decent money, but it's impossible for him to like routinely call leads. And so he just got his first contract signed last week, submitted dust for dispo. We're probably gonna have it sold by Monday. But then he got his closer through us, started yesterday, and he just got a novation accepted today. So I'm like,
Dude,
within less than 48 hours of getting started with a new closer, novation, verbal agreement, contracts getting sent over. It happened an hour ago.
That's
Um,
awesome.
yeah, so like that's a really cool one. And then Logan T, he's another hitter in the group. He's been out for like 5 months, and he started working a full time job, closed the deal for 20 grand, got fired pretty much the same time, and just went all in. He got a part time acquisition manager, just closed another deal for 40 grand last week or 2 weeks ago, and he has another closing for 10 next week, and he has 4 more contracts he just got signed, all from his acquisition manager.
That's
dude,
awesome.
So
that's amazing.
it's like that's like what we're trying to do because like from the social media side of things, like it's always like, oh, you gotta make all your cold calls and do all this kind of stuff and
Gotta
drive.
grind, gotta grind.
Yeah, you don't have to drive for dollars. You can just pay for leads and just be good at sales. Like you don't have to overcomplicate it. And so like we're trying to bring that to pro and show everyone it's like you don't have to do every single part of every single transaction every single time. Do it the first couple times, understand how the thing works, but then like let's step into learning how to manage people.
No, 100%. And that's the, again, like I said earlier, that's the biggest part of like running a long distance or just being able to scale is giving up some of that power. But like if you hire the right people, they're skilled, they're talented, like you kind of let them do their thing.
Yeah.
And no, that's absolutely great leverage to have.
I love
Um,
that you're teaching them that so early on too, because like you said, like most coaches when they're dealing with newbies, they're like, no, 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 like hold on to your dollars and do everything yourself and so. But then it's really hard to get out of that. Like once yeah, you've built a habit. Yeah, yeah, it's a habit, and then it's hard to let go of that control. So I think that's rad that you're teaching them that
Yeah.
early on in their journeys.
Yeah. Well, and that's what happened to me. And like for the first probably 2.5 years, I was like super reluctant to spend money on anything in the business just because I was like, it was like I gotta save it all. I gotta like I don't know, and because I lacked the consistency and I lacked whatever it was. Um, and then I started working with this guy, and he had a closer, and I just like watched how that worked. I was like, wait a minute, you're telling me leads just come in and someone else who's really good at sales calls them for you? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, what do you do? He's like, I just sell them to my investors. I was like, what have I been doing this whole time? This is ridiculous.
that's crazy. Where for the closers that you're plugging into your students' businesses and have hired yourself, like where are you getting those? Like who are they? Are they
Yeah.
local or are they VAs?
Yeah, we're going VAs from Egypt. Most of my team's based out of Alexandria. We got one in Cairo, and then we're probably going to start looking into South Africa as well. But Egypt right now has been our favorite for that.
That's cool. Like a couple probably like 6 7 months ago, I was talking with another investor, like because that when I thought VAs, I thought like Philippines and
Yeah,
like they're great for customer service, they're very like personable people, but
yeah,
like you need kind of like a killer when it comes
oh,
to like closing,
yeah,
and the hardest negotiators like Middle Eastern,
yeah,
Hispanic, like
yeah.
so that's cool, like
Yeah.
hiring from there.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a headhunter on the ground who's been headhunting for 20 years over there, strictly for like real estate businesses, pretty
Oh
much
wow.
US based. And so we got connected with him, and we're like, hey, we need 3 closers, and he brings us the first dude he brings us, I'm like, I swear this guy lives in California. I would have never guessed he doesn't live in America accent wise. And then as far as being a killer, he's like a ranked boxer in Egypt. He's got like
actual killer.
Dude, he's jacked, and like he came on, dude. He came on the interview and he's like, this is my track record. Here's HUDs. Here's proof. Here's addresses. This is what I'm averaging. Let's go. And I was like, all right.
When can you start?
Wow.
Like, cancel my other interviews. We're done here.
Yeah. He sold you on the interview. He closed you on the interview. Yeah.
That's amazing. So burning question, Eric, and we've started to piece together some aspects of like what one would need for a business like this. But what's like the high level roadmap of being able to like pick up, be a digital nomad with real estate? Like how would one even start? And then what systems are needed in place, kind of start to finish?
Yeah. So as far as like what's in place for your business, and I'm putting together some content on this because I'm getting tired of seeing all the videos about 10K in 30 days. And I want to kind of try and bring some more like systems to the social media side. But it's really like if you can get the 4 primary parts. So lead generation, easiest way to do that, PPL provider, link a credit card, done. Second one is acquisitions. Hire an acquisition manager. You can find them with a lot of years of experience from Egypt, South America, South Africa. Dispositions. Honestly, if you're like on the newer side, I would JV. I'd like RJ Bates talks about it. His first 200 deals, he had someone else dispo because he just had to lock in that. And like when I heard that, I was like, that's a fair point.
Mm-hmm.
And then transaction management, easy REI closings, hand it off to them. They're the best in the business. So it's like,
love them.
It's like you need to be able to pay for leads, pay for TC, have an AM, have a DM, and that they're good and you manage them. But like if you can check those 4 boxes, you're pretty set. Obviously, if someone quits, you're gonna have to figure that out. But that's the base system that you need. And then like to being a nomad, it's easier than people think. You pretty much just book a flight and an Airbnb and you sell your stuff. Like that's it.
You're allowed to do that. Dude, like it's like, literally just the mental, like just jumping.
100%. Yeah.
People are like, oh, I could never do that. And
why?
I could never imagine that long of a flight. And I'm like, all right, like I get flying to Bali. I know it's like 30 hours.
That's me. I'm like, I don't know if I'm cut out for it for international travel.
Take some NyQuil, whatever, knock yourself out. But it's like 30 hours of like kind of discomfort to go see one of the most beautiful places in the world. And I remember there's some guy on TikTok that was like, I'm not going to Bali because I don't have Monster energy drinks. I'm like, okay.
Wow.
But it's like just expand your horizons. But yeah,
no, they don't have Monster, but they have like the Thai Red Bull, like the OG. Yeah. They got the goods down there.
Yeah. No, yeah. It's like you have the autonomy to do it, and like, and that's actually one of the really cool things in pro that like. I think it's because of like the lifestyle that I lead and like who then is attracted to me on social media that comes into Freedom Pro. But there's a lot of people in there who are saying like, I don't want to sit and try and build a $10 million a year company. Like I'm good if I can build something to do like $1 million-ish, maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more a year, mostly hands off. Obviously I still have to put work in, but mostly hands off and travel. And I'm like, nice. Yes. So
build it. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say in pro, one of the things that we're working towards, in phases, is we want to eventually have quarterly international events or like masterminds where, and it's not gonna be some upsell. It's like, hey, you can either win it by just completing X things within the group, or you can cover your cost and come hang out. And 10, 14 days of going to Mexico, Europe, Southeast Asia, something like that.
The Galapagos.
I just want to expand. Yeah. I just want to expand people's horizons and be like, look, you can do this. You can see more of the world than your backyard.
No, that's amazing. And that in-person like camaraderie, like when you're in like a foreign place too, like it just jazzes you up, man. It's like that church camp high, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, we did like a test event in Greece this past fall. And it was like the coolest. We had like 10 people, 9 or 10 people. We got this like 9-bedroom, 7,000 square foot villa in Greece. And we were just like, It's just hanging out, real estate, excursions, you know, business talk, like whatever. I'm like, this is so much fun. I got to do this more often.
Dude, that's amazing. And I want to kind of take it back to like the lead source. Two things actually. One, I like that you brought like that almost, it sounds like it was a fear like earlier on, like I was trying to save myself to wealth. And like I felt the same way, like when we were spending like a bunch of money on direct mail, and it worked for us like initially, but there was that like, dude, I'm spending $5,000. Like, what if I don't get a contract? Like, I feel like I'm just burning money. It's like, that's such a bad mindset to have, like, because you're kind of self-sabotaging. So like, that's one aspect. But two, when you PPL, I think has come a long way since like 2019, 2020. It's a lot less expensive than you think. And you're able to not have to worry about like building that marketing machine up front. It's like, it's done for you. Yes, you might have to go through a couple more leads than like mail leads, but like you're not dealing with the PPC, like setting all that up, or the list stacking, mailing, stuff like that.
Yeah. And like, and on the cost that you brought up, Henry, the guy that got the deal last week out in Flint, Michigan, it was a $4 lead that he got on.
Wow.
The assignment fee is looking like it's going to be 13 to 16 grand on now granted, he spent more money on other leads, but that's when you say like, you know, because a lot of people hear PPL and they think $400 or $500 per lead. It's like, obviously those are higher quality, but they don't have to be that expensive. You don't need some humongous budget to get started with PPL.
Well, I think I was gonna say, I think it goes to show too, which I can't remember who it was that we were talking about this with, Dawn, but not prejudging the leads too, right?
Mhm.
Like just because it's a $4 lead, like most people would be like, oh, well, that's trash. And I mean, look what's come out of it. So
yeah, I think that was Billy Fernandez. Like,
was that Billy? Yeah.
Yeah, that was a great podcast too. But yeah, I mean, those two or those four $10 leads, like the inexpensive ones, yeah, they may have been bought by another investor, but like the odds of them working that lead, like actually working it.
That's what I tell people, because I'm like, and I try to be polite about it, but I'm like, okay, if you're buying inexpensive leads, you probably don't have that much money, which is fine. You're not going to go buy the premium stuff, but think of who else is buying those leads. It's everybody else who's probably new with not that much experience, doesn't know what they're doing. Yeah. So like, yeah, you're competing with 3 other people, but they probably
suck.
Not that, yeah, they probably. So just be better.
How like, eloquently put.
Follow up. Use drip campaigns and REsimpli. Like, you know what I mean? Like, stay on top of your leads.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. No, that's fantastic. So we went over again the pillars putting in. One thing with long distance. So again, like I said, I invest long distance as well. And Maui, the time difference was a problem because I was 6 hours away from my market. So like, and I've done stuff. I've closed a deal in Ireland before too. So, and that's like 8 to 10 hours like away. So how do you manage like that time difference? I think I know the answer because of like the VAs and stuff, but like how is that? How does that affect your business?
Yeah. The negative side of it is there's definitely times when I'm working at inconvenient hours, 100%. The downside of Europe is I'm probably working pretty late into the early morning, because like in Freedom Pro, we have calls Monday through Friday, and those are at 7 p.m. Eastern. So I'm sitting in Greece on a Zoom call at 2 a.m. but you know, it's like you just adjust your sleep schedule. You wake up at 10 instead of 6, and it's fine. Yeah. And then, you know, like I'll usually need to have like business partners or like people that would have like really pressing concerns. If I'm in like a really inconvenient time zone, like their texts and calls every single time can come through D&D on my phone or sleep on my phone. So like they can always reach me, but they know my sleep, they know my time zone. So I'm like, hey, if it's not that pressing, don't call me at 3 a.m. please.
I'll answer, but the world better be burning.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, and I had to do that. Like when I was in Bali last time, there were definitely a couple phone calls at 2, 3, 4 a.m. But you know, and people hear that and like, that's terrible. It's like, yeah, but 3 times out of 5 months, you can get over it. You know?
Yeah. And like, what are you giving up? Like, or like, what are you getting from it? It's like, but hey guys, I mean, nomads have problems too. You know, we just have a better view.
Yeah.
I got the same problems. My view's better.
Yeah, exactly.
Got
And
99 problems, but a view ain't one.
ain't one at all, Chenay. I can't put it more better myself. But for so for long distance investing, like we started back in 2019. So David Green like just came out with like the long distance real estate investor book. So it's like not too many systems were in place. So we had to figure it out on your own. But now it's a lot more common, especially like after COVID and stuff like that. But I would ask, like, in today's day and age, like what are some things that help remote investing, and then what are some of the disadvantages that you see?
So I mean, some of the things that help are obviously, with your like employees, like we use like Insightful for screen tracking and like making sure they're logging their hours, and we can see what they're doing during those hours, and my sales manager can be able to check on that. And like that's a big one. And then honestly, just like, so we're primarily doing wholesaling right now. We're not doing fix and flips, so we don't need like boots on the ground specifically. Because I did the whole digital nomad and fix and flip thing, and I was like, this is a little too much for me. I'm just gonna stick to wholesaling. That's okay. But yeah, it's like, like little tools like Insightful, and then proper sales manager, proper management team.
Mm-hmm.
And,
for your employees, sorry, do you have like is it a company that staffs them, or are you going direct to the employee?
It's a company. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So that helps a lot with the management side.
Yeah. Because so I didn't even realize about this connection until you brought up David's book, because I read that a long time ago, and that put the idea in my head of like rock stars in their respective area.
Yeah, rockstar team members. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and like this is like a mind blown moment for me, because I read that book like 6 years ago, and I'm like implementing all what it says, and it didn't click that it was from that book. But yeah, it's like you just get a rock star sales manager, get rock star acquisitions, someone you can trust, someone you know is going to hold the team down, someone who sees the company vision, who wants to go with you long term, and and reward them and pay them well and help them achieve their goals. If like Nick Perry, who's someone I look up to and listen to a lot, he had a thing where he was talking about how he keeps his top tier talent. And he's like, when they come in, he figures out what their goals are, and then how can them working at his company align with his company growth goals, but then also their individual goals.
Yeah,
there you go.
It's important to recognize that employees are people too, with their own goals and dreams and aspirations.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And that's like, and I don't know if it's just me that has this interpretation, but I feel like a lot of times when people hire virtual assistants, they don't view them as people. Not fully not as people, but they're like, it's just like whatever. I can just fire them, hire them, and they're a dime a dozen. It's like, it's a human being. Like you're like we're helping put a couple people through college that are employed by us, and like we're feeding their families, and like we're their source of livelihood. And so I just think if you're hiring VAs, like treat them with respect. Like,
it's not like an AI. It's a human. No, then that can be. It is maybe like a subconscious view. Like obviously, if you were to ask, like, do you view your employee as a human? It's like yes, but like, yeah. So no, that's a good point. But aligning with the goals, and because they're like super loyal, and if you pay them well, they're great. Like they're not gonna actually. That's a difference too with hiring local versus like outside the US. Like they're not gonna try and rip your buyers list and start their own company. Like I've had multiple acquisitions with guys that wanted to do that. I knew that early on, so it's like you could be a little more free with those employees. You had a recent post that I loved. It was a 400K system in 4 minutes. Not 400K in 4 minutes, guys, but like the system was laid out in 4 minutes. Fastest way to get deals if I'm brand new. It wanted to see if you could go over that real quick.
Yeah. I feel like I need to revisit the post, but I mean,
it was something with land.
That's not big. So
Or just a way for like newer wholesalers to get in and like have some quick wins, stack them, and then like build that more sustainable business.
Yeah, I mean, I would say like, so if you're like just getting in, reverse wholesaling, I would say is the best thing to do. You don't need to buy a course on reverse wholesaling. It's just getting a buy box first and then getting a deal for that buy box. But so like if I were just getting into it, I would probably go connect with a bunch of buyers or other wholesalers that have buyers. And saying this now, I'd probably just go with the other wholesalers because I don't have to worry about dispo. But I would just go and get extremely well-defined criteria of what I need to go get. Because if you're new, you don't know what a good deal looks like. You don't know what to look for. You think a burnt down mobile home on a rented lot, I got it for $2,000. It's a great deal. No one wants it. So define like what you need to go find, because then looking for that thing becomes exponentially easier. And then, then kind of determining if you have a budget for paying for leads, or, I mean, one of the fastest ways, one of the guys in one of the groups a while ago, he did the JV outreach method, which is just build a buyer's list, join Facebook groups, find deals that fit the buyers or that fit the buy box from the other wholesalers in JV. He made $11,000 in 24 days and spent $0. Like he got like 50 buyers in 2 days and just sat on Facebook all day. And then now you have $11,000 PPL, and there you go.
You got your seed capital. You're ready to go.
Boom.
Yeah. I mean, I think, we hear so many people, like when people first get started in this business, it's always like acquisitions, 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 and they forget that you gotta sell it. So like, if you got the contract, great, but then you kind of gotta sell it. So I like this whole idea of like the reverse wholesaling and like, getting the buy box first and then reverse engineering that, because then you're not spinning your wheels with stuff that nobody wants, like you said,
Yeah, and one of the most common like criticisms I get when I say that is people are like, you don't need to find buyers first, get a good deal and it'll sell. And it's like, yes, but if you're new, you don't know what a good deal is. And if you just have the blanket statement of ARV times 75% minus repairs, if you get one of those in Macon, Georgia, Jacksonville, Florida, Gary, Indiana, it's probably not going to sell. So good deals are defined differently in different markets. And so that's why I would say, like, if you're going to do the reverse wholesaling, or if you're just getting in, get to define buy boxes and actually understand what a good deal looks like in your market.
Great advice. Great. Yeah, love it.
No excuse.
Yeah, no excuses.
No excuses.
Yeah, it's like it's not easy, but it's simple.
Right. Yeah, you still got to put the work in regardless, So obviously right now everybody's talking about AI. We've brought it up a couple times. AI automation and systems, all the stuff we've been talking about. Do you think that new investors should lean into tech first, given where it's going? Or do you think they need to master the fundamentals and hustle before layering in that automation?
I would do a combo. I would use AI to help you get more efficient at the fundamentals. So like an example is like sales, acquisitions. You could role play with yourself, you could role play with other people, you can do whatever, or you can use ChatGPT and you can go on voice mode, give it a prompt and say, act as a whatever, tell it what to do, and then sit and role play with ChatGPT for 3 hours. Like that's utilizing AI, but to get good at the fundamental aspect of closing. Because like, most people just suck at sales and they suck at closing. And like cold calling FISBOs is not going to get you that much better at sales because no one's coaching you and no one's telling you what to like. Sure, you're getting reps in, but you can get reps doing it the wrong way. And you just keep drilling the wrong way into your head. So like, yeah, I think using it in ways like that. And then the other thing is I think it's kind of easy to let that, like, to try and do too little work. Like I'm seeing tons of stuff on like these like AI comping softwares, and maybe some of them work. I still not going to trust a deal to.
Comping is such an art too. Like even if you have like the most robust software, it's like, ask 10 investors like what a property is worth, you're going to get 10 different answers like within a couple bucks. But
and like, and I've seen people that use some of these comping tools or the like rehab estimate tools, and they're so incredibly wrong. But the people, they're like, yeah, but it's $20 a month and I don't have to comp. It's like, yeah, but comping is one of the most fundamental parts of this business. Like, you should know how to do that. Like, there's some things you can hire out, like, PPC management. I would not hire out comping. Like, that's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The software. Yeah.
No, that's great. No, that's yeah. Stick with those fundamentals, just like weightlifting, sports, musician stuff, like instruments. Like it's all about getting those fundamentals and practicing the right things too. I'm glad you said that. Eric, would you say wholesaling is it getting harder, or are people just less willing to work through that uncomfortable phase, you think?
I mean, I definitely think, if you go back to like 2021, 2022, when you could sell stuff to Open Door and make 50 grand on it, no questions asked, definitely harder than then. But, I also think like people like RJ and Nick and those guys, they always make comments where it's like, wholesaling's also never been easier because of all the tools you can use. Like when I was starting, like there was the tools back then versus now, it's insane. And even just REsimpli, like the like things that REsimpli now has that it didn't have 5 years, like the AI, that's huge. And like that wasn't a thing 5 years ago. But then I think the issue is people see all these tools and they think, oh, I have to do even less work, and they already didn't want to do that much work to begin with. So it's like, okay, the tools are helpful. You still gotta try. Put effort in.
Yeah, no, for sure. And even like back, wholesaling, I feel like definitely got more popular because it was not a big topic on like Bigger Pockets 2018, 19. Like it was more like almost frowned upon because no one really understood it. Like people will happily give up equity for ease, but like it has to be in the right situation. And of course there were probably some bad apples stealing grandma's house, but like but if you operate ethically, it's fine. But like you used to have to go to meetups to meet your cash buyers. You have to like courthouse steps. Like that was stuff like my wife and I did like back in the day. But now you can just go into REsimpli, pull a single property cash buyers list, have like 30 buyers with phone numbers. It's like,
exactly.
So you have the people that are like, I want to do no work and make all of the money. How do I do that? It's like, well,
yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. Or like you mentioned easy REI closing. So, David, Eric, like he's like the OG, like he literally did it. Like they didn't call it wholesaling back then, but like going through the white pages, which you're so young. I'm not even sure you know what the white pages is.
What's a white page, Chenay? Teach us. No, I'm just kidding. I know it's a phone book.
There used to be this book with everybody's phone numbers in it.
In the Grinch when he goes, hate, loathe. It's that. If you want a topical reference.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Oh,
Eric, do you think that relying on one lead source, because I mean, there are people in this business that tout like this as a strategy that, relying on one lead source is the way, the truth, and the life. Do you think that that's viable in 2026, or do you think being diversified is a better option when it comes to leads and marketing?
Yeah, I would say, I mean, I think it's viable. As far as like lead source, like if you're going to say like PPL, like I might not run your entire operation off one single company, because then if something happens to them, you're going to get smoked. So I think on that, in that vein, having a couple different like PPL sources could be good, and you can split test them inside of REsimpli with their dashboard, which we love.
Nice.
But
nice
then
plug.
but then like I think there's definitely benefit of saying like, hey, I'm going to get the PPL running. That's pretty easy to automate, whatever. And then maybe I'm going to build a leg of my company that focuses. I'm going to get like a rock star that's going to own this thing, and they're going to really be good at government data and probates, and like that's their sole responsibility. And because like you're not going to get those leads from the PP or like dirty title or like the more intricate, complicated deals, or maybe you want to dip your toe into like larger development type deals or whatever it is. And so then like if you want to start branching out, you're going to need to get different leads. But I think if you're just like, I'm just going to rip wholesale deals, you could probably just go with one reliable, consistent lead type. but I would split test them against one another, and
Going back to like keeping the like having the end in mind, like not everybody's goal is to be like the number one wholesaler in their market, and like that's okay. Like we're kind of past that deal count on the belt. Like
right.
that's your whole worth. It's in like PPL, having a couple of different providers, ripping a couple deals a month, like that can afford you a very nice lifestyle.
Yeah.
But if you want to expand and like do like 20 deals a month, you might need to branch out a little bit. So it just all depends.
Yeah. I think that's a huge, I mean, that's something that I'm really big on is like really understanding like why you're doing wholesaling, cause like for me, I'm not the Rolex AP Lambo kind of dude. I don't care at all. And then, but it's like you talk to someone, they're like, well, I made more money than you. It's like, okay, I went scuba diving in the Caribbean and I went to Bali and Greece and Mexico and I loved every second of every day.
That was important to me. Like,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're going to get into this to make money, obviously, well, yeah, you need to make money, but like, why are you doing it to make the money? Are you making the money just to make the money? Because that's going to be unfulfilling and you're going to hate your life eventually. But if you're like, I'm doing this because like, I like one of my really good friends who I got into wholesaling, he literally did so well his first year that he was able to pay for his dad's cancer treatment. Like his dad, the insurance wasn't going to cover it. He wasn't able to get it figured out. He was kind of screwed because it was pretty, it was a bad type of cancer.
mm-hmm.
He like called me and he's like, dude, my dad just went into remission and I'm able to cover this because I got into wholesaling thanks to you like 13 months ago.
That's
and
amazing.
So it's like, that's way cooler than a Rolex.
Yeah.
Like what's actually meaningful to you in life? What actually lights you up? What's exciting?
Mm-hmm.
Do that.
Can you talk about your perfect day thing, Eric? Because I think we would be like totally missing out if we didn't hear your perfect day philosophy.
I'm excited. I don't know what this is too, so I'm excited.
So this is shout out to Henry G. He's my best friend, mindset coach. He runs the Positive Mindset podcast. Not to shout out another podcast. Sorry.
No, do it.
But he put me through this a while ago, and it's you continually refine it. But basically, the exercise is you sit down and say, okay, it's a random Tuesday. You're not going to die. You didn't just win the lottery, but it's your perfect day. You can't dictate who's with you because you can't control other people, but you can describe the type of person that's with you. And basically it's like from the second you wake up to the second your eyes close when you go to bed, every detail about what your day consists of. So it's not my perfect day is go to the beach. That's not detailed. I mean, like when you wake up, what does your bedding feel like? Is it before sunlight? Is it after sunlight? What does your view look like? What does your bedroom look like? What does your kitchen look like? Where do you live? What activities do you do? Do you work out? Do you go to the gym? Do you go to restaurants? Do you go to excursions? Whatever it is. And like put together like the absolute best, most perfect day you can imagine. And then build your business to support that. That's like how I'm approaching it. And that's, and like there's people in Freedom Pro who we went over that thing with, that mental exercise, and they literally said their outlook on life changed after hearing that.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, but it's like, yeah, because you control your reality. You can do whatever you want. You just got to make it happen. It's like, if your perfect day is scuba diving for 15 hours a day, perfect. What systems do we need to build to enable you to do that? And then build them, perfect them, optimize them, and then scuba dive.
I think the power of that too is one, like it's simple, but just like sitting with yourself with a guided like thing to think about like that. Cause I mean, how often like are we like distracted, social media scroll, like we don't have time to be bored anymore.
Yeah.
So like that's super helpful. But then also like actually think like, what do I want? Like, and having that thought, that's super powerful. Everybody do that, guys. Your outlook on life will change. Eric, Eric promised.
Yeah. I think the key to it is getting like as detailed as possible though, really. I mean, like you said, Eric, like what do your sheets feel like? Like what does your room look like? Like, do you have blackout curtains there so that you can sleep till, 10 a.m. without being interrupted? Or, Yeah. And when you open those curtains, what does the view look like? Like, just really get into the nitty gritty of every single detail of what that perfect day looks like. I think that's awesome.
And
Yeah.
one of the cool things now, like with AI, because I just did this the other day, is like with those visions you have, being able to describe that and have images generated. Like one of the things that I really want to do for my girlfriend is eventually we want to get a house in Southeast Asia or something like that. And I want to have a really, really beautiful art studio that overlooks the water. And so I like went down and I like described exactly what I envisioned to Chat GPT, and I got an image of it. And so now I have a visual representation of what I'm working towards. And so then in your perfect day, if there's like locations you want to go to or activities you want to do or scenes or whatever it is, you could then like get images of that made and have a vision board. And it's like every time you get cussed out by another seller or a title issue comes up that kills a deal or a buyer backs out, you're like, it's okay because I'm working towards this perfect day. And if I stop working towards it, I'll never have it. So the options are keep working towards it and have it, or give up.
The visualizations are super important. Actually, right here on my wall, I used to have a TV that we literally played like while we were wholesaling and working. We were playing like just Hawaii like surf videos and like just drone footage, literally like all day it would be there. And
Yeah.
I think that was a big part of like why we like what we did. We definitely jumped to do that. But and it's interesting like now like after Maui, like now it's like, okay, kind of what's next? Like, so we've kind of, my wife and I have been in this like, well, we had a kid, so that's been a lot of a lot of our focus, time, and energy. But like when you accomplish that too, like when you do travel and you get that, it's almost like making sure you have that like what's next to keep everything driving and moving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
We
out of the
always
box.
Yeah, we always like to finish up with like some quirky out of the box questions, Eric. So I think we'll do the first two, Don.
Okay,
So
cool.
yeah. So all right, here's mine. So you're stuck in an airport for 12 hours, Eric, with zero Wi-Fi. No Wi-Fi for 12 hours in an airport. What are you doing to stay sane?
Visualizing my perfect day. No, sorry.
I'm definitely gonna eat food. Gonna get some steps in, wander around. I'm probably gonna sit and like clean up my photos and all those like airplane tasks that you like don't do until you're sitting on a plane, like cleaning up photos, reorganizing your phone. I'd probably do a bunch of that. And then I don't honestly, I'd probably see if I could find a place to just sit and think, and like reflect on whatever. Maybe it's like, do some vision boarding, do some business planning, or yeah, something like that. And maybe I probably do people watching too. That's always entertaining.
I love it.
People work.
Oh, dude, I love
Actually,
it.
a quick follow-up question to that. What is the longest you've been in an airport? Like,
I've stayed overnight in an airport more than once, so probably 10 to 12 hours.
okay, so you've actually done this, but you had Wi-Fi, I'm sure.
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay. Let's do some visualization. You're 60 feet underwater, you're scuba diving, you can breathe. Total silence, Zen presence. Like what's that environment maybe taught you about life or business?
Being present. I think that's something I've really, really been working on the past like 6 to 12 months, and like being present and being at peace, and like really experiencing the moment. And I know I'm bad at it. I'm sure a lot of entrepreneurs are, and whatever. But you're always just like, what's next? What's next? What's next? Like I gotta like, what's next on my calendar? What's the next business move? And you're always on, and you're go go go. But sometimes it's like it's really beautiful to be 60 feet underwater and see some big eagle ray swim by, and you're just like, this is really cool. Like I built the life that enables me to do this, and being able to now sit in this moment and just soak it in and experience that is extremely powerful. Yeah.
That's amazing. And
Yep, being present's hard.
this is a great time to bring up my shark story.
This
I thought I was. There we go.
Yes.
We're connected. All right. So I was a little too present. So we were shore diving in Maui. We had like 4 other friends with us. And there's a cave that there's a white tip that usually hangs out in there, white tip shark. And so it's fun to go see. There's a bunch of like mapache, like soldier fish that also hang out in the caves. So I was going in that cave to like see the shark, and they're not super aggressive, so it was fine, but like it's still a shark.
Yeah.
So I went in the cave and I'm like, oh, where's the shark? Like I don't see it, like super in my own little zone. And then I turn around and I see one of my buddies, and he's just like putting the fin on the head. I'm like, oh shoot, like what? No, it's not in there. I didn't see it. Apparently, when I was going in, the shark, friggin' big, like 10-footer, like just came out. So we literally went whoop. And so, yeah. So that's my shark.
I guess I'm living in this cave now.
Yeah.
Yep. So, but yeah. So be aware, guys, when you're diving. But
this is why I don't dive. I'm telling you, like there's a bunch. I mean, I'm sure you guys probably know this, but maybe not all of our listeners know this. But did you know that we actually know more about space than we know about the ocean? This is facts.
Yeah.
Wow.
Stay out of the ocean.
If I'm gonna go, I'll go in Maui under the ocean scuba diving. Like, take me. It's okay. I had a good life.
I'm close to shore. It's not that deep. I'm like,
no,
all right, that's chill.
Yeah, no, like it's the deep open water that you're gonna. I'm on a boat. I'll be on a boat, but like.
Yeah. Well, see, that's why I actually prefer, I mean, Dawn, you and I have talked about this. Like, I cannot stand like California ocean and California beaches and stuff. And it's like one of the biggest things is because it's dark and there's just like a drop off. Like when I went to Lido Key in Sarasota, I was like, all right, this is my jam because you can walk out super far. You can see to the bottom. Like it's chill.
Dude, Florida has
and the water's warm.
Yeah, but like Florida has so many more like sharks and like intense like fish.
I don't believe that. We'll have to argue about
every fishing video I see from like just on they're like pulling out a hammerhead or something. Like we have great whites here, but like
see, exactly.
Call.
What was that?
I think we need a marine biologist on the next episode.
Yeah, Chenay, can you set something up, please?
I'll look in my contacts. I'm sure I've got somebody.
You probably met someone in Vegas that is. Eric, man, this has been such a powerful conversation. It's been great to talk to you about your experiences and some awesome tips too for even my own business, but also hopefully everybody was able to. Everyone should have been able to get some value out of this. So from breaking down the myths around wholesaling, remotely building systems, man, there's so many gems packed into the system. So make sure you follow Eric McAvoy, check out Freedom Pro, and tap into everything that he's building. Eric, tell everyone where we can find you.
Instagram's the best. It's at Eric McAvoy. Pretty easy to find.
He does post about real estate, guys. No matter what the cover photos will mislead you to believe.
Lifestyle mixed in, yeah.
Amazing.
Oh man, yeah. If you're listening to this and you're stuck in the grind, if you're feeling overwhelmed or wondering how this business can actually give you the freedom to go wherever it is that you want in the world, like Eric, this episode should be your wake up call. So thanks again for coming on, Eric. We've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Of course. And as always, thank you for tuning into the Real Talk with REsimpli podcast. If you enjoyed the episode, share the show with somebody who needs this. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button for future episodes wherever you're listening or watching this.
Until next time, guys, keep it real.
Peace. Book a flight. Bye.